With the release of Fated Clash aka DZBT01, it is safe to say that Vanguard finally entered a brand new era of the Divines. And with the brand new era comes a brand new group of new players, whether they are returning players or a complete newbie to the game. And I do have to say this particular question will definitely come into discussion a lot when veteran is trying to talk with a newbie. Is it actually worth it to invest in a booster box to improve upon their deck performance? And today I will be talking about whether is it actually worth it to invest in this particular booster. Do note that the best way for you to get all the cards that you need for your supports will always be either getting a proper playset from card shop, buying single through different sources, and of course sharing a carton with your friends. These are some of the better way of getting all the cards that you need. But if you're feeling lucky and back a booster box and not sure whether is it actually worth it, this is the video for you guys. Okay, so let's start off with the good points of buying DZBT01, and that is the fact that this booster is a brand new booster for a brand new era, and with that comes a brand new set of triggers and PGs, two of the most crucial elements to play any deck in general. And if you're trying to buy a bunches of boxes, I think that is definitely gonna be a worth it investment, because you definitely get a bunch of PG, enough for you to mix it with your quick start deck and start off your Vanguard adventure. But in my opinion, buying booster box also have an advantage here, and that is the fact that the trigger set that they are including in DZBT01 are no nation trigger set, which means that you can use this particular set of triggers and run it in any deck of standard. Yes, that's included the collab nation as well. And the reason why I'm saying buying a booster box is better here is because of the fact that they are actually quite limited in supply, even if you're trying to buy a case. And if you want to place it all two of those, buying box might be a good idea to actually get this group of triggers that you want. Of course, it won't be perfect because you will definitely missing one or two of those triggers, but let's be real, it is not that hard to get a single common card to complete your playset. And then we move on to the second good thing about the booster box, the voice. And in my honest opinion here, I think buying a booster box does have its value here, and that's boiled down to one single group of cards, the triple R cycle. The triple R cycle from DZBT01 are able to not only give you additional draw when you discarded it for your right deck cost, and when you got it from hand, it also have quite a powerful second effect which activate if you persona right. Yes, even the dust one, I would have to consider it does have some use in one way or another, and each of them actually can be sold for at least a price of 1/4 of your box. So if you manage to get one of them and it doesn't belong to your nation, that's essentially 25% return to your box price if you manage to sell it off, and will be even 50% refunded of your box price if you get a Keter or Radical one, which are two of the most sought after at the moment. We also have to talk about the double R one. Of course, this group of cards are pretty solid, but it is definitely on the lower price end of life. But there are definitely people who are willing to try to get a playset for their own nation. So I do think even if the cost is not that expensive, they are definitely easier to sell, at least in my opinion. And then let's move on to a little bit more of a speculative market, and that is the archetype specific support. And it is a little bit unfortunate for this booster, at least in particular to Japan version of the booster. It's not worth buying a box if you're looking to update your archetype specific support, as there is a lot of people already doing that, and currently there is a huge surplus of many of the base rare version of these archetype cards. Yes, even Vanguard, which does go into 2-digit realm in terms of price, is not really worth to invest for it. But if you're looking for generic, it's good. If you look for archetype specific support, maybe not. And that is a good segue to talk about a brand new rarity that comes in DZBT01, the silver rare. And is it actually worth it? The answer to that is, are you willing to gacha? This is due to the fact that out of 42 different silver rare we have received so far, only roughly 1/4 of those cards are actually worth more than 2 digits. With the more expensive cards are the Keter and the Radical generic. So if you're planning to whack a booster to get a specific silver rare, maybe not, and just get a single. So is it actually worth it to invest in DZBT01? The answer to that question is actually yes. And here is a few reasons. For one, you are getting PGs and triggers that can be utilized in multiple decks. That's for one. And for two, I didn't mention it throughout the whole video, but the OT reprints are great. Especially their reprinting is Pharaoh and Vanguard, which are being used in most of the deck building for 80% of them. And then of course, we do have, in my opinion, one of a very good generic, and that is of course the Energy Blast Draw generic. But that just simply comes from an opinion of a guy who do a cut and share. So do leave in the comments below of whether you guys think is it actually a good investment or not. And yeah, that's all I have for today. Take care of yourself, and this is Mac Megane signing out.